This was recorded literally seconds after my alarm clock went off. I know now that the character's name is Chris and not Jesse, but listen to this anyway. Yeah, I just woke up from the weirdest dream of my life. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I had a dream. I'm assuming in Houston, Texas, but it had to be Detroit too because I saw people that I went to high school with. Okay, this makes no sense, but somehow it ends with me getting chased by the guy Jesse from Get Out. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna just explain it. I took a nap after my work meetings today, my meetings for MacG magazine. I took a nap, but before I took the nap, I watched the video of Jordan Peele talking about fan theories from Get Out. Okay, I watched that. I went to sleep. In my dream, and I don't dream often, so in my dream, I am sitting on the steps of a large movie theater complex with an associate of mine or whatever, and I'm on my tablet and on my laptop. And then all of a sudden, a crowd of people I went to high school with come flooding in, and it's apparently somebody's birthday, and they're getting ready to see a movie. So we're all saying hey to each other and whatnot. And then one of them looks at me and he's like, hey, where are you sitting in the movie? And I was like, funny thing, not sitting because I wasn't invited. I said, so I was sitting here just so I could say hey to everybody and keep going about my business. And he was like, oh, okay. And the person who was in charge was like, well, yeah, you usually don't really hang out with people, which is true, but you really don't hang out with people except for your close friends. So I didn't want to waste the invite. Okay, well, I wasn't offended either way. It is what it is. Okay, this is all going on. I see a friend who's wearing a Big Bang jacket, a red Big Bang Letterman jacket. And I'm like, hey, I saw you in Germany too. And a lady behind the counter was getting popcorn. She's like, oh, do you two know each other? And we're like, well, yeah, we do. But don't be deducting that because she's wearing a K-pop jacket. And then turn around and I had on a shirt that had something about K-pop on it. I don't know. Either way, she was like, well, I'm in Prague. And I'm like, I'm in Korea. She's like, oh, straight up. So we talked for a moment. Another friend runs down, gives us a hug. And she's like, okay, you two, you need to be safe. And then that was it from her. I turn and I'm looking on the stairs to see if my tablet and my phone and my, tablet, phone, and laptop are still there. In the distance, I can see that there's a news announcement on there, but I missed all of that. Okay, so I miss it. What big deal that is. I eventually make my way back over to my stuff. None of my things are stolen. But then I see Cheyenne Lulu, who's from Pretty Brown and Nerdy, or her own YouTube channel. And Cheyenne and I talk on occasion or whatnot. It's been a while since we've individually spoke. But usually when I speak with Cheyenne is because she's, she needs some advice on something or, that kind of thing. So I see Cheyenne and I wave to her and she waves to me and then she kind of goes like this and then she runs over. She's like, no, Ashley, I need your help. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? No big deal. It's like, no, I need you to help me with somebody super important. And I'm like, okay, well, when I say that, I turn behind me and I see Whitney of Whitney in Real Life, or Whitney Bay. She's walking behind me with a basket full of groceries and whatnot. And I'm like, hey, Whitney, you need some help. And she didn't hear me. She kind of turned around and looked, but she looked extremely terrified. So I'm like, what the hell is going on with everybody? I turn back around, Cheyenne's gone. I'm like, well, okay, fine, I'm gonna go back to writing. So I'm working on an article or something. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, I see GD, Taeyong, and Daesung. I don't see Seungri anywhere. So I'm like, oh my God, it's them. It is the them. It's the them of the thems. And then all of a sudden, I see Cheyenne, and she's coming down with my ultimate bias. She's coming down with T.O.P on a stretcher, and she's like, I have to wheel him to the hospital that's just a little bit away. Do you happen to have some blankets to keep him warm? And all of a sudden I had a pile of blankets. I don't know where the hell they came from, but I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go get the blankets or whatever. In my brain, I'm like effing screaming. I'm like, I gotta stop. But I'm getting the blankets and whatnot. and I'm putting them on him, and he's got all these stuffed animals from the members of Big Bang around him, and there's this one random nurse, it's a male, really big, like he's way too tall, it's almost unsettling, and he's not saying much, and I'm like, well, can you help me put these blankets on him? And he's like, no, you got it. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm putting the blankets on my ultimate bias, and he's just so tired and all this and whatnot. And I'm trying to figure out, why the hell is he in America? Like, did they fly him out of Korea so that he could go get some emotional care? Like, what is going on? But I can't ask any questions because I don't want to turn into a Raven Psycho fan. So I'm putting the blankets on him and everything, and we walked to the door of whatever movie theater we were in. And I can see the hospital is not that far. So, okay, cool. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just so cold. I don't want him out there like that. These blankets are crap. We should have had a comforter. So I'm talking to Cheyenne about that while I'm holding on to his, his push bed or whatever. Nurseman's gone. I'm like, okay, well, I said, where did he go? And then we see him on the other side, like in the hospital. Like, how the hell did he get over there that fast? It's like, well, he's over there. And I'm like, okay, well, he's not going to help us push this grown man. And she's like, no, I guess we got to do it. I said, okay, well, Cheyenne, you grab the foot of his bed and I'll push the top. So we're pushing it and we're trying our best to get it over there as quickly as possible so he's not uncomfortable and whatnot. And then the whole hospital was just really, really unnecessarily cold. Cheyenne is like, this is some BS. I'm going to go see if I can do something about the heat. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try to find somewhere nice and warm for him. I don't want him uncomfortable. So Top wakes up at that point. I mean, he was awake, but he was lethargic. So he wakes up at that point. He kind of nods his head. He just lets his head rock back. So his illustrious, beautiful face was like resting on my bicep while I'm pushing him. So again, I'm trying not to effing die because it is Choi Sung-hyun. He is the love of all my K-pop life. I want to take care of him all the time. He is my baby. So we are rolling around different parts of the hospital and things, and everywhere is just cold and people are looking green. I don't know why. So I move him into what looks like a room full of books and this little stuffed animals and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this should be fine. I roll him in there. It's still cold, but not as cold. So I apologize. And I'm broken Konglish. Like, he knows English, but 미안해요. 답시 the heat. 진짜 모르겠어요. I'm sorry, Top. The heat. I really just don't know. He leans forward and pushes the blankets down, and he looks at me and he's like, this is good enough. In English, with that voice, this is good enough. I feel safe. I hope you feel safe too. Thank you for getting me out of there. Out of where? Suddenly I hear a book fall behind me, and I turn and it's like some of my kids from school. And I say, oh, excuse me. I say, 안녕하세요, 여러분. They say, 안녕하세요, 선생님. And they all look rough and beat up. And I'm like, are y'all on break? Is it the weekend? And like, no, teacher, it's Monday. We have school in a little bit. And I'm like, what happened to y'all? And before I could get y'all out, I hear Cheyenne running and screaming, and she comes and she charges around Top's bed. She's like, we gotta go. We gotta go. And I'm like, what do you mean we gotta go? She said, there's something wrong with them. And I'm like, who? I don't see anybody coming. And the kids are like freaking out and like grabbing stuff and getting ready to fight. So I'm like, everyone knows what's going on but me. Cheyenne hunches over in pain and screams and runs, and I turn to look where my kids are. My kids, one of them just disappeared, but I hear him. He's like, teacher, I am here. I'm here. Top can't walk because something attacked him. He said, I'm going to prove to you that I'm here. I'm going to pick him up. His legs are asleep. His legs are asleep. So he picked Top up, and I saw these like angel feathers come down or whatever. So the kids are like, oh crap, Joseph is gone. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck's going run. So I'm like, okay, no, calm down, everyone. Joseph is here. He's the one who moved Top. Then I see the male nurse, and he's bigger than he originally was, and he's starting to turn green. And he's like, you know what? I can't stand smart asses like you. And he reaches down, and one of my kids like charge up and like slice at him. I don't know where he got a dagger from or nothing. Then he evolves into this green scary ass monster. I'm like, oh fuck that and this. I start pushing Top in the opposing direction. We're going down the hall. Cheyenne told me not to go down. There's all kinds of green zombie like running strange corpse things. I don't know what they were. I'm like, oh no. So I'm trying to get Top out. I'm trying to get me out. I grab Top. I'm like, look, Top, I know I'm smaller than you, but I'm strong. I can drag you. I can, military drag. If you don't know what a military drag is you put the person on your back, you drape their arms around your shoulders, and you put all the top of their weight onto the top of your back, and you haul. So that's what I was doing. I'm like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And I'm not about to leave this fine ass man. We about to have all the love and happiness we can have as soon as we get out of here. Well, it didn't work. Some of the things came and got us, and they bombarded us, and Top was willing to protect me with his body, and in turn, he got attacked. I don't know what was going to happen to him. I'm freaking out. I'm panicking. Things are trying to come after me. I'm trying to hide under tables. I'm fighting. My kids are fighting. My kids are turning into green things. It's madness. Then I see Jesse from Get Out, and he's like, come on, I got you. And I'm like, got me where? What is this? He's like, just follow me. So I run towards him. He grabs my wrist. We hook a corner, and I see all these people, like squad officers with guns and green stuff, flooding out of a door, and me and him just charge through a window. We fall through the window and onto the front porch of Get Out, and there's a piano there, and he plays a piano jingle, and somehow another piano jingle makes everything end. And I'm like, you did it. And he was like laughing, and he reached down underneath the piano and he pulled a plug. The piano wasn't plugged up. Pianos don't need to be plugged up. So I go, and he grabs me and puts his hand around my mouth, and he says, shh, don't worry, run, I'll get you. I'm like, so I start running, he start running, and he's running at like super fast speed, like grandpa in it. He's running, I'm trying to catch him, and then all of a sudden I see like this bolt of green light, and I hear him scream murderously, and I just fall to the ground and start scooting over towards a bush. It's nighttime, so I'm hoping he can't see me, and he starts running. I hear his footsteps and everything, and then I can see his shadow over me, and then my alarm went off on my phone. I don't know what dream I had, but I just want you to know I tried to save my bias. I couldn't save everybody. But I tried to save him. Yeah, I tried to save him. I tried to save him. That's my story. And the jacked up thing is I haven't seen Get Out. So when I'm referring to Jesse, I'm referring to the character that Grandpa wants to outrun so badly, which might proverbially not be the main character's name, but that's just what I saw before I went to sleep. Bruh. Bye, y'all.